Hey guys, welcome to Creativity Level Zero. I'm Steve,
And I'm Jim.
and let's just jump right into it. So, I had the craziest drive home today. So, I played soccer,
Okay.
pickup soccer. I'm glad
hmm
that started back up again.
hmm
Um,
On the last episode, you mentioned that too.
oh, I did. That's
Yeah.
right. I guess I also recorded. I always record after soccer, I guess. Gets me right in the mood. But yeah, so there's this giant storm barreling through.
Okay.
And we're playing soccer, and you know how you're like so into the game, you'd really try to push it.
hmm
You're like, how much time do we have till that lightning is like right on top
You're
of
like, so you see the lightning in the distance, and you're like, did other people see that, or should I keep
us? Yeah,
playing?
exactly. Just ignore it for a good while, and then more people start to comment on it. It's like, should we stop the game anytime soon? And people are like, no, 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 we got time. We
Right,
got
right,
time.
right.
And then lightning was so close. It was like right over the trees
Oh my gosh.
that that there was almost no time delay between the lightning and the thunder. And we're like, all right, let's go.
Oh man. Was it like a loud snap? Like what was it? How loud
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it?
it was that
Yeah.
loud snap,
Oh.
like that like thunder clap. Not just a low rumble. It was the
Right.
clap of that
Dang.
lightning. Yeah, and so we were like, all right, let's go. And as you start picking up, it was dry and it was just lightning. But as you're picking up, like rain
Oh,
starts
it
coming
just
down.
like
You're like,
it
oh
went
no! We literally waited till the last moment.
it went from
I had
like
to like
zero.
change. Yeah, exactly.
Dang, it was like buckets?
Yeah, buckets. So on the drive home, I was driving through this storm, and I have never driven in that much rainfall in my life.
Really?
Everybody was going 10 miles an hour. Everyone had their emergency lights on
Oh yeah.
because you could not see the car in front of you. It was
Mhm.
raining that hard, torrential. I couldn't
Mhm.
I couldn't see anything. It
That's
was horrible.
scary.
Yeah.
And you didn't pull over?
I don't know where the cars are. I don't know where the median is.
Oh my.
I don't know
So,
where the lines for the lanes are. I'm just going in the direction that I last saw the tail lights of the car from.
oh. So, you didn't pull over.
No, no,
But were
no.
there
If I
people
was
pulled over?
alone, yes, there were. Yeah, people pulled over because
Okay.
it was
It was
ridiculous.
bad.
Yeah, but if I was alone on a road and it wasn't as many cars, I probably would have pulled over.
Yeah.
But like I could navigate just on the
Just
tail
through the
lights,
cars.
just through the cars that were near me. So
Jeez.
'cause everyone had their emergency lights on, so it was like that bright flash every second. So
Right. So you're like, "Okay, I kind of got my bearings."
yeah.
So, I have had that happen twice.
Okay.
Once I was with someone. This was in early college. I was with someone and we were going to drive to North Jersey.
Okay.
And it's to my uncle's barbecue, that like super barbecue. And nothing's stopping me from that barbecue. So it started to rain so hard that like I couldn't see. And we were on, I think we were 35. So we were right, we barely left. We were like in Middletown.
This barbecue is still gonna happen with this torrential rain.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess nothing stops your uncle from that
No,
barbecue.
no. Well, he bought all the food.
Right.
And like they could grill outside in the rain. We could just stay inside. And so we were
Outside
driving.
with the umbrella.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, that's what. Well, I think they were probably well off. So they had like tents and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I was with this friend who never went before, and it was raining so hard, so I had to pull over because I couldn't see anything. And I told him I was like, "It's raining pretty hard. We probably should turn around." And they were like, "No, we have to make it through." So I was like, "Okay." We'll wait a few minutes, and then if it gets better, we could keep going. And we waited, and it wouldn't let up.
Oh, so you pulled up.
I
You
pulled
pulled over.
off. I pulled over. So then they were like, "Just try to go. with like you said, everyone had their lights on and like whatever,
Yeah.
right? But so here's what happened. We were starting to go, and I got to the parkway, and I was like, no way. Like, there's no way I'm getting on that parkway, like with the rain. So we ended up turning around and not going.
How did you
Which
turn around on the parkway?
no, like on 35, where 35 and 36 are, there's like an entrance to the parkway. You can just skip
Oh, I
the,
see. Yeah,
you
you
could,
could turn
yeah,
around.
you could skip the entrance. So there was that, and then the other time, I almost died. See, that time I didn't die. The other time was here in Pennsylvania. I was
Are you
driving.
dead right
Like, am I? Wait, are you
because you said the previous time you didn't die,
right?
but this time,
I almost
so
died.
almost.
Yeah,
Because now I'm starting to get worried
you could have
that
that sixth
either
sense,
you're a ghost or I've been talking to myself.
or talking to ghosts. You could have that power.
That's right. That's right. This could have been a podcast about a crazy person just talking to himself.
Dude, wouldn't that be crazy if we had
Oh
this
my god.
podcast videoed right now, right? And then it's live and we launched a bunch of episodes, and
Uh
then
huh.
people are like, "Oh, let's go look this up. Oh, let's look up Steve. Oh, he's a nice normal guy. Let's look up Jim. Oh, Jim died 10 years ago." And I'm like, "What?
My god.
Who has he been filming with?" That'd be crazy.
That'd be insane. It's almost akin to I thought they were just messing around,
Yeah.
but there was like a popular radio show that I listened to, and one somebody was saying that one of the characters that comes onto the show, and he just intermittently comes on, was just like a bit, and somebody just did an accent, and the whole time I'm like, no, that person is real. Like,
Okay.
I swear that person is real. If they tell me it's a bit, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
Like, they've been in like having a conversation with each other.
Oh, so like one guy was talking to himself in the other voice.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
but it
that's
ended up being two different people. But
okay.
somebody was trying to like they were trying to convince that it was the same person just doing a bit, and I was like, this is gonna blow my mind
Wow.
if it's the same
That'd be
person.
awesome.
Yeah.
You're saying this? I saw on YouTube or wherever they came up with the new so I like to watch the YouTube videos of the hackers who hack the scammers. You
Yeah,
know,
I like those
I
too.
like those, right? And
Yeah.
there's one of them where they're presenting this new software that when people call you, it gets picked up and it's a computer voice, but really it links you to like the cloud, like a big computer with all this processing power, and it'll
Right.
talk back to the people. And so they'll be like, "Hey, like how are you?" And they'll be like, "Good, how are you doing?" And like it has like a full conversation. It was pretty cool, right?
Right.
I got to thinking like, imagine if, all right, you didn't see me for like a year, and this is just computer generated image of me, and you're
Oh my
talking to like a
goodness.
computer, like that
Oh my
movie.
god.
What was that movie where the guy talks to the computer? He falls in love with
Uh
the computer.
yeah, is it
Creepy
is it
guy, the
it's something
Joker.
like her or something like
Yeah,
that,
that's
or
it. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, and he like falls in love with it, and she
Yeah.
like becomes self-aware. She's like, "You realize I'm just a computer," and he's like, "Oh no, she knows." That would be
Yo, I
fun.
would lose my mind right now if somehow this is just a rendering
Beep boop
of
beep beep beep.
of all our previous conversations, and a computer just knows how to answer through your voice. Oh my god.
I mean,
I would
that's what
lose
they
my
do,
mind.
like the personality profiling. Like it knows what kind of answers. And you know what? I don't think that's even that hard because people do that. Like, we're friends. You could probably guess what I say to certain things. And do that enough, train yourself enough, you could probably do that.
True. That's
That's
true.
crazy. It's like we next time we hang out, hey Steve, meet my friend Jimbot 2000. And
Oh my
like it's me, but funnier.
god. Well, it looks like you've been replaced.
And then like the first time you talk to it, you'll be like, "Hi, Jimbot." It'll be like, "Hey, Steve, nice face." And you'll be like, "Oh God, this thing's so harsh." And then like
I thought it
hour,
was funnier. What happened?
well, like it's getting its legs, and then
Oh,
it's
it's
machine learning.
right,
And
right.
then after like a few hours, right, go by, you start to kind of like it. And then the next day, I'm like, "Hey, Steve, you want to hang out?" You're like, "Yeah, I was thinking of just hanging out with Jimbot." Is he around? Like, what? He's just
Would you
better.
be upset if I chose Jimbot?
Yes, he's a better version than me.
That should only make you strive to be a better human.
Isn't that crazy though? Like if you could take our personalities and machine learn them into like a robot who talks, just to talk, doesn't have to be a full body robot. And now
Right.
it learns to be a better human than we are, like a nicer, smarter, better human. People will be like, it's like, don't talk to me, talk to my personality over here.
Well, I feel like we already kind of do that
Do we?
when, yeah, people have like a different persona for their like
Oh,
internet persona,
yes.
compared to their real life, home life persona, then their work life persona. I feel like everybody tries to, you know, fit their like be a
Yeah,
chameleon with personalities over here.
you're right. I feel like you're right. How many personalities do you think you have? Like you.
I actually think I just have one. Because
One.
I act this way at work.
Oh my gosh.
Try to get promoted.
You had me at the super people are so complex with so many personalities and traits. Depending on the situation, you're like, yes, Jim, but I have one.
I am Steve. And I will
Okay,
always
great.
be Steve.
That's interesting. So you don't think, but you don't think you're even different with people you don't know?
No. I'll the way I act with my family is different
Right,
with the
right.
way I act with my friends, which is
Sure.
different than, which is just, at work, I have to rein myself in a
Right.
lot. I still act a lot like this.
Right.
And so they know me. They've even said it, because I've been called out where,
Stop being so
if you
funny.
leave work early, they've called me out. They're like, Steve, out of all the people, we know when you're not there. The loudest in the entire office.
It's like it's all of a sudden quiet. Steve must have went home.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have
Oh,
to hear my laugh or
interesting.
oddly quiet today. Steve must not be here.
That's
So I can't ever take off surprisingly. Like,
because they'll know.
you can't pull that trick where you just show up at work in the morning, then dip out,
Ooh,
and
love that trick. Love that trick.
you're like, oh no, I was there. You just must not have seen me.
Yeah, I was in the the other wing. Yeah, I had to help so and so. I bet
Doesn't
that
work for me.
happens a lot. Yeah. So I go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say you didn't tell us about your actual death by rain. In
Oh,
a
that's
car.
right. That's right. So this was a near-death experience. So I was on the turnpike in PA, and I'm driving, and like it starts to rain really hard. So it's raining, but we're all driving like 45, 50, and like, which is slow for PA because PA is at 70 for the turnpike.
Right.
Whereas I think Jersey is 65. So like, people all going like 85 in PA, but like in Jersey they're like.
Yeah.
In Jersey, you're like, oh, I'm in Jersey now, so maybe 75, 70, depend on where
We
I
can
am.
still go.
So we're driving pretty fast, and then it just starts to come down with buckets, like like we were saying, and the cars around me, like, didn't all have their lights on, and they kind of just like kept driving fast. And so I was like, oh, I gotta slow down here. I don't wanna like die. So I start slowing down, and then it just becomes like darkness. I couldn't see anybody's cars, and I couldn't see behind, front, or the sides. Everything was just water, like as if you were in like a log flume. And so like I had the wipers, like they're just beating it. They're
I was like, is there a faster setting?
like it got to the point where I literally turned them off because I was like, maybe I could see through the rain better than the wipers. So what
I assume that.
No. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up rolling down my window and sticking my head out the window because I couldn't see. And it turned out I was in the middle of 2 lanes. And luckily, there were no cars. But with no lights or anything, you had no idea where you were. So, like, imagine going like 45 and you can't see anything. I had no idea if, like, the next second I was going to hit the guy in front of me and die.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, roll down the window, look out the window. What the hell's going on here? I was like, get to the side. So, yeah, that was
You
scary.
pulled on that one?
Yeah, it was so scary. Like, not being able to see is probably the scariest moment I had driving. And I've been in accidents. So like it's more scary than that.
Yeah, I've had that experience once because I've been in a bad rainfall when my windshield wipers decided to die. And I just got stuck in the up position.
No.
And you're like, go. And you like try to maneuver the little joystick to get it going. No, it was like it was so forcefully thrown to the up position that it was almost off my car. That windshield wiper motor decided to launch.
Wait, so
wipers.
it just what? Flew out?
They didn't fly out, but it got stuck in like the up position. So I had to this was in the middle of going.
It's like raining.
Yeah, like 50 miles an hour, raining, and all of a sudden like you have to try to pull over, figure out where to pull over on the side of the road to
can't see anything.
Yeah, so then I put it down and I was like, oh, maybe if I just push it back down, it'll work.
Yeah,
no, that's it. The motor was dead.
No,
the motor was completely dead. So I was in this rain and I was like, maybe I could just wait. But I looked at the forecast and said rain all day.
Oh, but how far did you have to go with no wipers?
I had to go at least another.
We on Route 1?
10 or 15 miles.
Where were you?
I was going to my parents.
Oh.
I was like in the pine woods.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
wow.
on a highway in the Pineys, and
wow. So if you had like your shirt, you could have been like out reaching out the window, wiping the windshield.
Well, I was legitimately thinking of a moment in Mr. Bean. Yes, like a rope attached to each wiper blade.
Oh yeah, and
as he's turning the wheel, it moves the wipers. I was like, how can I jimmy rig this?
Oh.
It was not working.
But it didn't rain hard enough that you could kind of see, and you would just do it.
So you would be able to see, but man, it took some concentration to see through that water.
You turned the music off.
I literally just drove it into garage to get it fixed because I was scary. Like, if the whole day is gonna be like this, imagine doing night driving when the rain.
Oh, yours
like
was
that,
during the day. That's right. That's right. My God. So one more story on this, just because it's short. Okay. It's not crazy, but when I was in college, I went to go pick up a girl on a date. And she lived off campus when we were in Rutgers. So, but close. She lived like there was housing at Rutgers, but like off campus housing. So I went to go pick her up, and it was raining. All right. And we're going back, and my windshield wiper, the rubber thing, comes off. Okay.
Did it like fully come off, or did it half come off?
It fully came off while we were driving. No, it wasn't flopping around. So one of them was like chit 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 chit, and the other one was like ee ooh ee, and the metal was scraping my car's windshield. So I pulled over, and I was like, I have no idea what to do. So
was your date in the car?
Yeah, in the car. Oh, this was in the Phoenix. This was in the Phoenix car. So it wasn't leaking yet, but the Phoenix was always an old car. It always put in its time. So
I guess that's why it got its name, right?
Oh yeah, it
always came back from the
ashes. So I go into the trunk and I have an old rag because I was like doing something and it was oily, so I put like an old T-shirt in the car, and I took that T-shirt and I tied it around the the windshield wiper. Yeah. So, so it was just a white like swishy swoosh, right? And I thought I was a genius. I was kind of like, hey, look at this engineering right here, right? It
Right.
turns out the metal is way sharper than the T-shirt, and
So it sliced your T-shirt.
it sliced through the T-shirt and the bottom of the windshield wiper, like that bottom portion. It
Yeah.
it went back and forth and cut like a whole like whatever strip into my windshield, and I had to go get like a filler for it, like a glue filler thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nasty, but I survived.
What did your date think of this whole?
She thought I
You
was
know,
stupid. She's like, this guy.
get another date after that.
Yeah, yeah. This was
Oh,
like, this guy is taking me in this car, like, and this was pre-Uber stuff, right? This was
oh,
before
right,
Uber,
right.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Couldn't just pull over, call an Uber.
No, yeah. I would have been like, we're leaving the car here. Bad image. So did you
So
have
did
like
you sorry, go ahead.
good? Go ahead.
You said you wanted to talk about something
Oh, okay,
for
I did have something a
like
quick.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. So I saw this and I just was like, I have to bring it up to you,
Okay.
because it's COVID and we haven't had the ability to travel in so long. It was just
Right.
so hilarious that I saw this, and it was essentially about traveling to other countries through their TSA. And I found it so funny because the guy was essentially saying something like, when you come to America and you're like trying to go through TSA, the people who are guarding our country with the weapons and cleaning stuff are trying just it's just different than you go to like Europe. People have like machine guns and like armed stuff, right? And they take that
Yeah.
stuff very seriously. You come through here, it's like take off your shoes, and people are like, and my socks, and you're like, oh my god, how, how are we ever gonna get on this plane? And so it was just funny because they were talking about, is there even a better way to do this whole TSA thing? Like, I feel like we've gone through it so many times. Isn't there a way to kind of just expedite this beyond what it is? So I wanted to get your
Uh,
take on that. Because
that's interesting because unfortunately human beings are awful people.
oh no!
And if you leave a loophole for humans, someone will take advantage of it in some shape or form
That's true.
and ruin it for all the other good folk.
Hmm.
It seems to be a motto through life is that this should work in its current method, but somebody ruined it. Now it's broken.
Oh, yeah, you're right. People are kind of horrible when it comes to
Yeah.
maybe not even horrible. Maybe selfish is a better word.
Yeah.
Because they look at it and they're like, well, I'm not waiting in that line. Like, I am better than everyone in that line. So I'm not waiting. I got to figure out a way around it.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so, yeah.
So, this is gonna bring up, it's gonna tie into what I wanted to bring
Oh,
in
perfect.
later. But I was looking up some unethical life pro tips, and one of them was about TSA. How if you know how you get the like 4 S's, and that means you're like you have to get like pulled away to do a special screening. You know how it's like that random special
Yeah,
screening
yeah.
that they pull that
I
other
never
room?
got 4 S's, for sure.
Well, okay, I don't know what it is. I've never gotten it at all. I've never
Yeah.
gotten special screens at
No.
all.
They looked at my white skin and they said, go on
Exactly.
through. I did get screened actually coming back from Europe into the States.
Oh, really?
I was waiting for my bag, and pro tip for people who are going on flights abroad: if you go early, they load your bag first, which means you get your bag last, which is so horrible because the people who just make it to the airport get their bags first. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for my bag forever at JFK, and I get my bag, I'm literally got the bag, walking out, and a guy taps my shoulder, and he's like, "Come with us." And I was like, "Who are you?" Like,
No.
"Oh, I'm part of the airport security." And then I was like, "Says who?" Like, I didn't even know if this guy was legit. Like, it could have been in
Yeah.
anybody. And he was like, showed me this little badge, and it said like TSA, and I was like, "Is that what we're passing for identification now?" Like in my head, I'm like, that
Yeah.
Halloween badge. Not really sure. But then I looked around, and there were other guys dressed like him, so I was like, all right. He takes my bag to the table, and he's like, "Is it okay if I search your bag?" And then I was like, "Why?" And then he was like, "Random screening." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Opens my bag, and in there I have like a Dragon Ball Z mug that I got from Spain that like when you drink it, it like powers up Goku, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he takes this out and he's like, "What would you use this for?" And I was like, "Coffee? Like what is going on here? What's going on here?"
Who are you trying to murder with
Yeah,
this Dragon
yeah,
Ball Z?
yeah. What are you storing in this mug? It changes color? Yeah, that means something. And then he took all my stuff out, laid it out on the table. So I was like, and by the way, when you travel, on the way traveling, you're packing your stuff, folding it nice and nice. On the way back, I'm just like, F this, throwing it all in the bag. Shove it
Yeah.
in.
It's
Right?
the same.
So the
Yeah.
guy's taking stuff out, and it's just like dirty laundry, like pens are in there, like everything's like together. And he's like, should really organize your suitcase. It makes this easier. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was gonna get screened. Like, what are you looking for in there? So
A
we
life
took.
pro tip, guys, if you want to go faster through screening.
So yeah, he looked through my whole bag, and he took out the souvenirs into one section, and then he took out the food into another because I bought like chocolate and other like candy from Europe. And then he
Right.
took like all the rest of the like other stuff there. And then he like looked at it, and then I was like, okay. And then then he said, "Do you want me to put it back?" And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I should just put my stuff back and like get the heck out of here. Like I'm already late. My parents are waiting to pick me up, or whoever was picking us waiting to pick me up. It's like, okay, let's get here. But then I was like, this guy deserves it. Yeah, go ahead, put it back. Because it took me forever to fit it in there, and now you're gonna have to fit it in. You play Tetris.
I hope he folded all of your clothes for
No,
you.
no,
Didn't I?
he did. He did. I gotta say, he was pretty good at it. Like I didn't think about this the way he like. I guess they do things like that all the time. But what he would do is he put all the stuff that wouldn't bend in first, right in the center. And then he took everything else and he kind of like folded it and molded it around the sides.
Right.
Which like I never really do, but that's kind of a good strategy. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Anyway,
let's go to your topic.
so wait. I gotta go in for the TSA.
Oh, that's right. The SSSS.
Yeah. So, um, if you get that SSSS and you see it ahead of time, but you can just throw away your boarding pass
Oh,
and
and
then
say you
pull up your
lost it
boarding pass. Yeah, and
on
say you
your
lost
phone.
it. Pull it up on your phone, and it won't have that SSSS.
Oh, no way.
That's
So
how you could skip.
I always print my boarding pass for that reason because it's like if you print it, well, I print it because I've been on flights where people have had the same boarding pass on their phones and it's a freaking fight. But when you have the
Right.
boarding pass in your hand, it's like, well, this is what you gave me. I don't care what's on their phone. They messed up their phone app. I don't know what happened there. This is what the paper says, right? Yeah. That's funny. I'll try
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So don't do that.
Okay.
You know, terrorists who are trying to skip
Oh,
screening.
that's right. Only the good people can do that.
Only the good people who have good intentions. You guys can skip screening using that trick.
Yes. Approved.
All right, but that's a good segue into what I wanted to talk about, um, which is going to be life pro tips, and then we'll start diving into some unethical life pro tips, and we'll play a game with it. Play a game with you
Okay.
for it, okay?
All right.
So just to give you a suggestion of how life pro tips work, okay? So the first one is pay attention to the smell of your home when you come back from vacation. That's what it smells like to guests.
So I definitely do because my trash smells like trash.
You don't take out the trash before you leave on vacation?
No, I do, but my trash. I do.
What's the matter with you? You're a monster.
But remember, my trash goes into my garbage pail goes into my garage.
Right.
So actually, it was last week. Oh, you weren't over. That's right. Last week, I had to tell everybody, look, I don't know what happened, but something died in that trash. And I had to put it in my garage because that's the rules of the place where I live. And like, it was 100 degrees this week.
Oh my
It
God.
was this weekend. It was so hot. It was baking. It was like a raccoon just crawled up and died and just baked.
Oh my God.
It smelled so bad that my car smelled. So I had to park my car outside. And I actually had to bleach it out. And I did that
Wow.
yeah, I did that yesterday. No, Monday. Monday I bleached it out. So yes, I'm very aware of that stuff.
Yeah, I know. Just recently, even I was just gone for a weekend, and I came back and I just, took a big whiff of the apartment, and I was like, oh, that's what this smells like. Because on a day-to-day basis, I don't smell anything.
Yeah.
It all smells fine, clean to me, and I never understand what people say. It's like, oh, Steve, you need to clean your house.
Yeah, someone comes into your house and you're like, hey, you can take the COVID mask off. They're like, yeah, keep it on. They're like, yeah, it protects more than just COVID. And
All right.
Actually, I can add to that pro tip. We can do Steve and Jim's. We need to get a hashtag for this, but
yeah, we should write that down.
Okay, I'll write it down if you come up with it.
Oh, I thought you were literally just came up with it. So
I was saying we need to come up with it. Well, let's do it. CLZ, like Creativity Level Zero, and then pro tip.
Pro tip. Okay.
All right, CLZ pro tip. All right, that'll be from both of us. So my pro tip for that pro tip. So once you go pro, you double pro. You're like you're in the majors now. Is to buy an air purifier. And I have that one in my house. You've seen it. When you guys come over, I turn it on, and it keeps the air fresh.
Wow. Now you can pro tip on top of that pro tip, and you can put a dryer sheet on
your like a scented. No.
Yeah.
We get the scented, like the Glade plug-in, and we plug it on to the air purifier.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I actually don't prefer those because this brings back a horrible college experience, but we had in my dorm, we had 6 guys, and I was totalitarian. I just gotta say it. And I had a one rule.
No.
Well, I was buddies with, because I was like in the engineering governing council, I was buddies with all of like the heads of the school, and I was buddies with the housing lottery person. And I told him, I was like, look, all I want is a nice place, one of the nice dorms, and I don't want to be part of the lottery. I just want the same one every year. I'm not trying to hurt anybody here. It doesn't have to be the best room. Just give me one. Right. So they were like, okay, we'll give you like one, and they had like a bunch, and that's the one I was in for 4 years that you saw me in, or 3 years. And then I had to find people, and the criteria for coming in and getting guaranteed nice housing on the campus was you had to clean once a week. That was it. That was the criteria. And you wouldn't believe how many people tried to break that one rule. Like, we only had a sink and a bathroom. That's it. I guess a microwave. Like, we didn't even have a kitchen. So you had to just wipe down the sink and then wipe down the toilet, wipe down the shower, and we did have a vacuum and like vacuum the common room. That's it.
Right.
10 minutes less, all right? And we did it every day, and Sundays was off. So it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But each person had
every day?
Yes. Have you lived with college guys?
Oh my God. That's insane.
Well,
I never filled your criteria. I would have moved out a long time ago.
But you only have to do it once a week. You do it once a week.
It
So
doesn't matter.
you get to pick your
I'd
day.
rather everyone do it once a week, and so I have to do it once every month and a half. So
What? How is that fair?
that sounds way more
So
fair.
we had
Every
it.
day is crazy.
So we had it. Well, once a day also gives you a lot of leeway for like making a mess too. Like we never had fights about messes, which everyone else I knew had fights about. Like you left your stuff out. Why didn't you put your stuff here? Blah 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 blah. Like your turn to clean. Like we never had that issue because it was like Monday is your night, okay. And then like because nobody wanted to do it, it was like instead of me being the bad guy, I would rally up the whole suite. I'd be like, hey, you see he's not cleaning tonight? What's up with that? And they'd be like, are you really not cleaning tonight? And like everybody will get in on it. All right, I'll clean. It's like, all right. So yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, but the whole reason I told that story, which had nothing to do with our pro tips, was one guy in a different suite when he came to our suite was like, your suite is so clean, blah 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 blah. But you know what? You don't have to clean. I got a trick. Glade plugin. Throw that thing in. Throw that thing in, and it's gonna smell great, and you don't have to clean as much, right?
That's right.
Right. We go to his suite. Now it just smells like poop and Glade mixed. It's just the worst. And like he's been
But it doesn't smell like just poop.
No. But it's just this putrid. It's like they work together to just really hit you, and it's I think it's a worse smell because your body is like I want to like it, but I know it's hurting me.
That's
So no
amazing.
Glade.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Into the next
One.
life pro.
Okay.
Okay. Strict parents can turn their kids into more effective liars. So find a balance. I need your comments
Take
on
that. Well, you know my parents, so I'm probably the best liar out of all of us. So I'd say true.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense that if you're strict, the kid it's not gonna like make the kids, follow your rules more.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be the opposite. Kids are gonna break the rules no matter what. They're just gonna be more creative about
That's
how they're gonna
right.
break the rules.
Yeah, your parents are actually pretty laid back, so you wouldn't have a reason to lie. Like if you wanted to go.
I'm such an honest person, you know.
Yes, you are. You never tell a fib. I don't think I've heard you lie to me before.
Exactly.
The whole friendship is based on trust. All right, so no pro tip on top of pro tip for this one for us. I think that was a good one.
Yeah. All right. If you're looking, this one was interesting to me. I didn't know this was true. So if you're looking for a place for free Wi-Fi, you should go to a public library because there are more public libraries in the U.S. than there are Starbucks or McDonald's.
Did you look that up?
Yeah, I did.
Was it true?
True. It's because it like school libraries and military libraries and things.
I probably wouldn't say that. I'd probably say like Starbucks, McDonald's.
And it was close. It was like 16,000 libraries to like 15,000 McDonald's.
Yeah, and like if you include Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Starbucks all together, like yeah, I would probably say cafes are the best. Or honestly, nowadays you can even just have your friends like tether you for a little bit.
See, but the thing is, if you go to a library, you're not like inclined to spend on something there.
Yeah, you are.
You know,
you have to buy that book card. You have to get your library card, Steve.
To use the Wi-Fi, you don't have to. You just have to just show up.
Imagine you sitting there, you're on your computer doing a book report. The library lady's like, "Can I see your book card or your library card?" It's like, I forgot it at home. And she's like, "I thought I didn't recognize you, you hooligan. Get out of here." And then she's like, "What's your name?" And then you're like, "Steven." And she's like, "Are you the same Steven that took out Moby Dick 20 years ago?" And then you're like, "Oh my goodness." And she pulls out the big Stampy card. Remember the Stampy paper card thing?
That's right.
She's like, "There's your name." Man, talk about
Dick.
Talk about people who I was disappointed with were librarians. Where
Librarians.
anytime, this was like pre strong internet. I'll say internet was out, but it wasn't as strong as it is now. Like you wouldn't just go on now you could go on Google, type in a question or type in a topic and it'll give you like summaries. Back
Right.
then it was you had to kind of find more stuff. I would go to libraries for our book reports, like fourth, fifth grade, whatever, like the school library. And you'd tell the librarian, I'm doing a report on polar bears. And she'd be like, well, we got a few books on animals. And you're like, but mine's a polar bear. I need a polar bear book. Well, we don't have that. And you're like, oh, well, maybe, I guess just give me the,
Especially on polar bears.
yeah, and then, okay, well, maybe just give me whatever the best book is. And they give you a book. They're like, yeah, it's definitely in here. Boom. And you're like, thanks? Like, now I have to read the whole book to figure out where the information is?
Listen, librarians' jobs were they didn't read all the books.
They
You
should have.
expected
They should
to
have.
have read every book in the library.
I,
No, they just tell you exactly where it is, and you have to go through
I
that.
think they should.
What was that
The
methodology?
PEMDAS system or something?
Oh, maybe no, PEMDAS. I feel like
Oh,
is
that's the
how to
math
do.
system.
Yeah.
It's it starts with a P. Something dot or Dewey Decimal System. Dewey Decimal System. Yeah. I don't know why I thought pen, but I got it. The Dewey Decimal System. Oh, that was terrible.
That's right.
That's knowledge I'll never get back.
No longer useful
Yeah.
until somehow the apocalypse comes and the internet dies, and we have to go back to libraries for everything.
Wow. The books will be deteriorated by then.
That's right.
It's like that movie, The Time Machine. If you've seen the new one. Well,
I
it's not.
haven't seen either.
Haven't seen either. Oh, writing that down. Time Machine.
Another one on the list.
Another one on the list. But in that one, in both, but more better. The newer one is worse. They're both bad movies. I'm just gonna say they're both B movies. Even I'm gonna say they're B movies. Okay, so it doesn't really pass my bar. But he does go into the future, and he finds a library that's preserved. Like somebody saves it because they're like, just in case things go bad, I want to have some books, and the books all deteriorate due to time.
It's interesting.
So it's like, yeah, you should have logged it, somewhere.
Did you ever watch Twilight Zone?
Oh yeah, of course.
One of the best stories in the Twilight Zone. It's about this like banker
Saw it.
who you saw it. Okay,
Where he
well, I'll
drops the
tell it to
watch.
everyone. Yeah, I'll tell it to everyone else. And this was like during the Cold War or something. And he goes into a bank vault to get something, and a nuclear bomb blows up, and the entire city is destroyed except for him. He's the lone survivor
Oh my
because he
gosh.
stayed in the bank vault. But the whole time he's like working. Prior to this happening, when he was working and everything, he was trying to read his books, and he'd never had enough time to read the books
Right.
because somebody would come to him and tell him to go do this or that or whatever. But now he was like, oh, I'm the only one here, and he just was able somehow. Some books survived, and he just found books, and he's like, I finally have time, so much time to read these books. And then he drops his reading glasses, and they get crushed.
Oh, so he can't read.
Can't read anymore, and he just starts crying. He's like, "But I had time now."
I thought you were talking about I saw that one. They had the same actor in a different one.
Maybe
It's literally the same scene where the guy goes into a bank and he's going to rob a bank, and he has a magic stopwatch, and he presses it and it can stop time. So he stops time, and he goes and he gets the money, and he resumes time, and he's rich, and he's living life. He runs out of money, so he goes back to the bank, and he puts the stopwatch on the cart, and he accidentally knocks it off and breaks it, so time is frozen. So he's
Forever.
stuck with time frozen. Yeah.
I've
I
seen
like
that
stuff
one.
like that.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start getting through some of these.
We got time. Okay. We got time.
I had time. All right. If you have one of those like debit card, gift cards that people give you?
Yes, I think I have one here.
Well, you should save it after all the money's used up.
Okay.
Because then you could use it to sign up for, those
Trial things?
free online trial things without getting scammed.
No, they don't work.
They don't work?
No, that's a no-go.
What do you mean?
I know because I've tried, and I also know you can tell when you go to the gas station. Do you have the app on your phone for your credit card?
Yeah.
When you go to the gas station, they bill you for 1 cent as soon as you swipe it, and then they bill you for the rest, and then your credit card company puts it into just one charge.
No, but it's not getting charged.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It does a
Free
charge.
trial.
It does a charge to validate the card has money on it. That's why.
Oh.
So like when you go to these, it's common now. I mean, I'm not sure if it's for every website, but it's common that you put in your credit card and it's like verifying. It's charging you a cent. It's like, okay,
Oh, interesting.
it's valid. Yeah. So if you had no money on it, it wouldn't work.
That's interesting.
I mean, maybe it still works for some places. I did try it because I wanted to download a program, and they were like, free, but enter your credit card just in case, right? And then I was like, okay, and I entered my credit card, and it didn't work. And it was a debit card, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. When I read that, I was like, man, that's genius. Good to know. Well, you guys can try it out. Let us know.
Yeah, try it out and let us know, because if you find a use for it, I'm saving these puppies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last one for life pro tips.
Okay.
If there is someone you don't like at the office, make sure you don't take vacation at the same time as them. Because them not being there is like you're on vacation. So you don't want to miss that time that they're not there. How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with
I
that.
don't agree.
If I don't like someone, I'm especially not planning my vacation around them. Right? Like, I'm planning my vacation for fun. And
no matter what.
No matter what. Yeah, I'm not going to be like, well, Bill's not in the office. I got to take it now. Like, I'll feel even worse.
Yeah, but imagine you took vacation at the same time as Bill. You come back and your coworkers were like, oh, this was the best week. Bill was not here the whole week.
Sure.
I didn't have to hear him nag all week or
Sure.
tell me stupid fart jokes.
That would be nice. That's a nice perk if you can line it up. But I wouldn't plan it. No. Okay. What about you?
All right, let's. I'm the same way. First of all, there's not too many people that I don't like. If I don't like them at work, then I just.
That's part
I
of
have
work.
a very,
Part of work.
I have a very just work Steve that's only going to answer the exact questions you ask, and that's it. No small talk for you because I don't like you. All right, so let's get into the unethical life.
Okay, so these are also hacks to help us, but they're not ethical ones.
Right. So think of these as they are worthwhile hacks, but you probably shouldn't do it. And I should tell everyone here before we go through this, you should not do any of these.
Okay. Steve has given the disclaimer.
They are very unethical.
Okay.
And you're all monsters if you do it.
The same monsters who anybody who does these hacks is probably the same type of person, without me hearing the hacks yet. But the same type of person as the who say that they kill their sister in that psychology.
That's right. That's right. If you're a psycho.
Right,
yes.
psycho. If they failed the psycho test, this is for you.
So, but I want you to be unethical, Jim.
Okay.
So you got to put on your unethical thinking cap.
All right, let me just get this guy on. Got it.
Be yourself.
Okay. I already feel cool now that I'm unethical.
All right. So I'm going to have you I'm going to give you the scenario, and you're going to have to think of the unethical way to solve this scenario.
You can't call me Jim because I'm unethical now. You got to give me a new name.
Mitch.
Mitch?
Midge.
Mitch? That's not that good.
It's Jim backwards. Midge. It's like reverse Jim.
Okay, that's better. I like it.
Reverse Jim.
All right.
All right. So what do you do if you're at someone else's house, like a stranger's house?
Stranger?
Well, not a stranger, but a friend's house,
Okay.
and you've had to go number 2, and you've clogged the toilet.
Unethical now. What do I do? There's a few options I'm thinking of here. Honestly, it all revolves around the fact of, did they know I used that toilet? That's really the linchpin to my unethical decision.
Let's just say you just like snuck
I
out.
snuck.
Just like everyone was having a party, and you just
So they wouldn't
you
know I left and went to that bathroom. Okay, if that was the case, I would definitely lid down, close the door. And I would definitely, if possible, if I'm being truly unethical, lock it from the inside.
Oh my god!
That way, they need one of those little finicky keys, you know, the ones in the house, little keys.
You just clogged it, so the thing is just gonna release smell, and even if you close the door,
Right,
there's still like a thin veneer of air that's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through, and it's just gonna release that stink.
Yeah, I would leave it. I would leave it like that, and I might, depending on how bad the clog was. Like, if we're talking, I flushed it and it was like rising, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. I might do a safety layer of toilet paper on top, just like a little boat.
A little boat.
Yeah.
I'm just what this person's gonna walk in on.
So then I would tell them, like, as we were leaving. So as we were leaving the party, I would say, like, thank you for having me. Like, it's a really good time. I got to get home. Like, I actually had to go for a while, but your bathroom was locked. I don't know if someone's still in there. And then I would go. And then I would go.
That's really good. That's really good. And actually kind of close to the actual life road, which is just, if you clog someone's toilet, just just go to the host and say, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? And then they'll point it to you, and then you immediately come back and say, oh, it's clogged. So it makes them think, oh, it must have been somebody else that clogged the toilet.
So I was thinking that that is way, way, way easier to get caught. That's way easier. My way is way harder. With that way, you're the only one who they know went to that bathroom, right? You went.
You just immediately came back. There's no way.
But you went
5
there.
seconds.
But you were there. So now, as a host, I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, that toilet was clogged. Who was there? Well, Steve told me about it. But Steve could have also been the one to clog it. You know, like, you're thinking.
I asked to use the bathroom and then came back.
Yeah, people lie. That's why, like, you think that through. Whereas if you tell them you had to go, right? And if you told them you had to go as you're leaving, and it was locked, they'll be like, "That's so weird. That never happens." And then you're gone. That's it.
How are they gonna unlock their door and then come
because
in?
Imagine if you.
It's gonna be like, who clogged the toilet and locked the door so we can never go in?
It must be one of our artists, because they left a little boat on top. But the thing is also is, if you go to the bathroom and it's a clogger, you're gonna smell. Okay, you are gonna smell.
Gonna know it's from you.
They're gonna know it's from you. You're gonna. All right, we're gonna do Steve. He's gonna come and be like, Jim, where's the bathroom? Be like, it's right over there. You come back and I'm like, you're like, hey, it's clogged. Be like, why do you smell like poop? Oh, I was in the bathroom. No, you smell like poop. Like, you were in there for half an hour. All right, what's the next one? These are funny.
Go for the next one. Yeah.
Let me get you some water too.
So what would you do to the person who, you're on an airplane? And the person in front of you just completely reclines pretty much onto your lap.
Happens immediately as soon as I get on the plane. It happens. I want to go on record that happens before we take off, and the flight ladies have to tell them, put your seat up.
Yeah.
Like,
All the time. Yes.
you need those 2 inches? Like, come on.
So what do you do if you want them to not like to go back up?
Okay, so I'm a seasoned flyer. So I really
Okay.
can't give you the unethical because I've lost many a battles fighting. There is no way they'll ever put their seat up. And I can tell you from experience of me literally going like this, boop, 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 boop on the screen all day. They would not do it. So the answer to that, unfortunately, is you look to the person behind you and you say, I'm really sorry, but the person in front of me has their seat
That's
reclined.
right.
I have to recline my seat. Is that okay? And then they always say yes. I've never had somebody say, no, I want you to suffer. Like they say
Right.
yes. And so you kind of like slowly, yeah, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to, but I literally can't even see the TV because the guy in front of me, his screen's in my face. But if I had to tell you an unethical way, pretending I didn't know that it didn't work,
Yes.
I would probably. I know the tapping doesn't work, and unfortunately, that's probably what I would have suggested.
Okay.
I have done. I'll tell you things I have done because I've tried a lot of
Okay.
things. I've tried. So you know, I'm kind of, I would say, tall-ish, taller than maybe a normal person. But for an
Sure.
airplane, I'm like a giant. Okay, I sit in those
For one
airplanes.
time, I'm happy short.
I sit in the airplanes and I don't get the window seat because literally I'm sitting like this. Like, because the thing is like right there. So what you do is as soon as you sit down, you take your pillow and your blanket and you put it in front of your knees and you scoot forward and you put your knees up against the seat. And this is an actual pro tip. And they cannot recline because you're actually there.
They're like, oh, my seat doesn't
That's
work.
right. That's right. And I'm telling you, that doesn't work because that's exactly what happens. They think their seat doesn't work. They complain to the flight stewardess. She comes over and then she just tells you, "Can you please move back?" And then you're like, "Okay, I guess I have to." So that
Uh,
that sucks. Yeah.
okay, well, the actual one here
Yeah.
is you put on the AC at full blast and you just point it at their
It
forehead.
doesn't. It doesn't reach them. It doesn't reach them. It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
reach
It
them.
doesn't.
It doesn't reach those guys. Yeah.
Doesn't reach them.
Even the ACs that point to you can't even reach the guy next to you, which kind of sucks.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's
All right.
some sneaky ones too, by the way. I will say if we're trying to be sneaky here, there's a few. Like if you're a window seat, you can open your window if the sun is right and get right in their face when they're trying to sleep. There's some sneaky ones. You want to be sneaky.
Okay. What is? This is going to be hard to make the scenario.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just make it very specific.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. You hit a parked car.
I hit a parked car. Okay.
You hit a parked car. How do you get away with it while also seeming to be a nice person?
Does the person who I hit the parked car know, or are they in the vicinity at some level?
No.
Are they in the car?
No.
No. Then I just back up and pull
But
out.
like people viewing it from outside or something like
Oh.
that.
Well,
Because there's an etiquette when you hit a
okay.
parked car.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, yeah. Most people write the note and say like, "Oh, I saw your car was hit, sorry," but not me. I would have just pulled away if they weren't there. I mean, that's as unethical as it gets.
You heard it here, guys. Jim admits hitting and running.
That's what I would have done if I was being unethical. And like,
Just hit and run. That's it.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, if we're gonna get really unethical here, and I hit their car, depending on where I hit them, I might give them some scratches too, because that way, if they're like, did I get hit or did I bump into something and scratch it? You know.
Oh, so you want to? You're gonna
Like,
extra scratch their car,
yeah,
so they think it's just a rogue shopping cart just hit
yeah,
my car.
yeah, something hit my
Because
car.
it's a shopping cart.
Or like sometimes when like you pull out, you bump, like you scrape another car or something. Yeah,
No, I've never had that.
I've scraped a car with my car here.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I did it because the person who was living, like where I live, there's like the driveway. They had their car parked. They weren't home, and they had their car parked like covering part of my driveway, and I had to go to work, and I was like, I can't push their car, and they're not home, so how do I get out?
They
And
weren't
like,
home. It was parked.
yeah, it wasn't their car. Like it was somebody like a
Oh,
guest or something. Um, and so I can't drive over my side area because there's trees there. So like I
right.
couldn't jump the curb. So I literally like tried to go out and like scratch the side of my car because it was that close. Yeah, it was like a because
Gee.
their bumper hit the side
Well,
of my
hopefully
car.
your neighbor doesn't
Well, it
listen.
was their bumper.
Right.
I told them. I was
I
like,
told him.
yeah, like your car is scratched because you parked in front of my driveway. Like, what do you want to say? Like, sorry. I would have just slit your tires, but we're neighbors, so.
Okay, so the actual unethical life pro tip here is save the business cards of people you don't like, and then put "I'm sorry" on the back of it, and then put that in the windshield
Ooh,
of
that's
the cars.
sneaky. But they're gonna call them, right? And they're gonna
Yeah,
say
they'll
like,
be like, "Oh, you hit my car," you know.
right, yeah, all right, one.
All right, what do you do if you forgot to get your kids a Christmas present?
They were bad that year. That's for damn sure.
I don't know what scenario. You're an awful person if you forget your
my
kids' birthday.
parents, my parents did that to me. I'm going
Really?
on podcast record here. Not only did they not give me gifts, which I'll say they did later. Not only did they not give me gifts, they gave me coal as a joke. They were like, "Oh, guess you were bad this year. You get coal." And I remember I was young. I was like, what, 7 years old, whatever.
Best.
Yeah.
I'm so
And I
happy right
started
now.
to cry, and I said, "I don't understand how I was a bad kid compared to my sister, because she was a way worse kid, like all the time. Like I was a pretty good child, so
Right.
I was old enough to know like something wasn't right,
Uh-huh.
and like my parents were like laughing. They're like, "Oh, it's a joke because Santa brings you coal when you're bad. Don't be bad." And I was like, "But I wasn't." So like I didn't understand.
So it's so funny that you mentioned that because the answer is give them a bag of coal.
Oh. Ah.
And when they cry, tell them Santa was wrong and you'll get it sorted out. And
Mhm.
then you go and get the presents at half off because it's after Christmas.
Ooh.
And you'll come off as saving the day.
I
You know?
like that idea. Maybe that's what I'll do with my kids. Like not the coal thing, but like telling them you'll get gifts after Christmas, so that's cheaper.
Right.
Get double the gifts. You could tell them like I'm gonna give you twice as many gifts, but you gotta wait.
You just wait an extra day.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, can't believe my parents were unethical.
Yeah, that's so funny.
This is why I'm the person I am.
All right. Um, how would you be able to hit your boss without any repercussion?
Well, my boss is a woman, so I would never
Okay.
hit her. So
We'll say your boss is a
a
man, man.
man that didn't like me or liked me or what?
I guess you didn't like them, and you just wanted to get back at them and just
Okay.
smack them.
Go for a high five and smack them in the face.
Oops, I missed.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Like, or you had a fault. That's a go one. But the one on here is, glue a dead wasp to the inside of your palm, and then act like, oh, you just saved them
That's
because
so much worse. So much worse. Who's gonna glue a dead wasp?
I'm
What?
just saying you'll get that.
First off, you gotta find a wasp.
Listen, who doesn't have just spare wasps?
What if it's winter?
You've just been squirreling away dead wasp carcasses.
Oh. Do we have time for a 2-second detour?
No,
Oh, I got a wasp detour.
no, we're not going into wasps.
Can it
All
be
right.
a 1-second detour?
Okay, 1 second. It better be a quick detour.
It's just that at one of my jobs they had a window, and a wasp made a little nest so big it ended up covering the whole window. So it
That
was
sounds pretty
dark.
cool.
It was cool but weird because they had to scrape it down. It was covering the whole window. Yeah.
Okay. This relates to you in a story you just said earlier. What do you do if you have a messy roommate and you want them to clean it up?
I already told you. You make
You
everyone else hate them.
make everyone else hate them. Okay. The unethical one here is make a fake Tinder profile
Oh my
and
gosh.
match with them,
Oh my
and then
god.
say
And
you're coming
catfish them?
over. Yeah, catfish them. Say you're coming over, and they'll immediately start cleaning.
Yeah, that's a one-time deal that's gonna blow up in your face. That I can't even imagine the level of work you have to put in for that. You might as well clean yourself. Uh,
All right.
these are getting worse. They were good
They're
in the
getting
beginning.
worse. Those were the best ones at the
Get a
top.
wasp and glue it to your hand. That's never a good answer.
It would be fine. It would be fine. Okay, there's two more here.
Do you take the
How,
stinger
how,
out?
how do you, okay, not have to deal with noisy kids at a restaurant?
You hit them. That's what my parents did. I don't see the problem with.
Also requires a lot of work.
Oh my gosh. Another unethical that requires a lot of work.
Yes.
You buy them a straitjacket and tell them they can't get out of it unless they shut up. Like, oh, what do you want me to say? Some of these are so crazy.
It says when you're on Yelp, put them as keep rating them as unfriendly for kids, and people will stop bringing their kids there.
I guess. That only works for the people who use Yelp.
That's true. That's true. Or whatever. I assume there's a similar thing for.
Yeah, and now that they can pay on Yelp to take off the bad reviews, it's a whole setup. Oh,
Oh, what?
here's a good aside. I am now a Yelp elite.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
Guys, let's have the streamers come down.
There's probably some copyright for anything we want to put on the screen right now because we have no creativity. We would just take something.
That's right.
So this
That's
is just like our own streamers. My fingers waving. That's it. That's what it is. But yeah. So
Okay,
now
this
when I
one-
review, I just want to say, hold on a second here. I'm trying to take another aside. When I give a review, it means something
sides.
now. It means something. The
Oh.
world listens.
You're a critique now. Wow,
Right,
look
and you
at
know,
that.
the feedback I got when they accepted me. They said your reviews are a little short. So
You better start making. You got to put in that work, Jim.
I like them short because I don't read the long reviews anyway. There's a clientele for that. All right,
That's
good.
true.
Good.
Okay, so last one. It's just a funny one.
All right.
No one should do this. Say you matched with someone on a dating site and you had a great first date. How do you make sure they'll keep going out with
You make sure.
you?
This is definitely a threat in some capacity. You find out
non-threatening way.
a non-threatening way. So
Yes.
like you
Not
watch them.
forcing them to go out with you.
Okay, but like you call their parents and tell them how great the date was, and you know that they're family type of person, and then you ask them to go on Facebook when you're at their house, and you go and change their picture to the both of you, and now
Oh,
everybody knows, and it's more work to not see you, so they just like forget it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. The one that they have here is report their profile so that they get banned from that
Oh my
dating website.
god.
They never get to see somebody else.
Why are these all so much work and so horrible?
Because they're unethical life pro tips.
Ah, I feel like you can be unethical and get better results with some better ones.
I'm sorry, not everyone can be as unethical
Yes.
as you do.
I've learned a lot doing this. I feel like there's a side of me we have not tapped into. Almost like a maniacal genius.
Oh no. What have we started?
I don't know. But it's sort of like when you're somebody invites you to play a sport and maybe you haven't played it, like volleyball or something, maybe something you don't really play that often, and like all of a sudden you just beat everyone and they're like, what have you been doing? And you're like, I guess I'm good at volleyball. That's like me, but I'm a supervillain.
I was like, where is this going?
Yeah, analogies is not my strength.
I guess not. I guess
But
not.
coming up with maniacal solutions or unethical solutions, definitely.
Yeah, you did come up with some good ones.
Yeah. I came up with some of the exact ones they had.
It's
In
true. It's
fact,
true.
some
And
of them
you have
have
your
some of them have happened. Oh,
all right. Well, looks like we're out of time here, guys.
couldn't
Maybe
let
with
me
that,
add
Jim,
anything.
Jim the
Oh.
super Um, so yeah, so if you like us, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're Creativity Level Zero. On Instagram, we're Creativity_level_zero. And any of your podcast channel, Creativity Level Zero, usually all one word. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye.